Right. Good evening, traders. Good evening, GR, Phil, T, VJ. How you doing? Rajdan, Mai, and everyone else here in the free room this evening. I want to thank everybody for being here. Today is, hey Tommy, today is Happy Halloween. So I want to wish everybody Happy Halloween. I'm sure some doorbells and some door knocks will be going off sometime tonight at your house or mine, either way. So let's go ahead and get started here, okay? So again, I want to thank everyone for being here. All right. So today's topic is October 31st, 2023. My name is John Carrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. I want to thank everyone for being here. Tonight's webinar is labeled Fix Your Morning Routine. It's the keystone to your success. Hey Billy, hey Walter, hey Carla. All right, so let's get started here. Let's go down to the next one. Hope this isn't going to go off all day. And let's try this. All right, a little bit about me. I've been trading for 20 years. The last 7 years, I've been a full-time trader. I get up every morning. I can't wait to trade the markets. Actually, I don't even like Saturdays and Sundays because I like to trade. That's just me. I love what I do. I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do. I want to credit all those traders that blazed the trail before me and had the grace to share their knowledge with me and others. I want to thank Rick Sadler, Doug Campbell, and Ed Carter for the time they took to help other traders succeed. I want to thank you all for being here. I believe your time is valuable. This webinar is being recorded. You can find it on BYOBTrading.com or my BYOBTrading.com YouTube channel, which is right here. YouTube at Be Your Own Boss. And this PowerPoint presentation is available. If you want it, just email me. This is my email address, BYOBTrading, John at BYOBTrading.com. The disclaimer. All right, we got to get this out of the way because, hey, let's face it, trading involves risk. You need to be responsible for your own actions. All right? Anything that you see and hear tonight is for educational purposes only, and it should not be considered financial or trading advice. All right, all affiliates, including me, Hit and Run Candlesticks, Right Way Options, is intended. Everything, all of our communications is for educational purposes only. You're advised to test any new approach before implementing it. And past performance does not guarantee future results. All right, this is going to get a little bit serious here. Okay, let me just say this: day trading is not for everyone. I'm a day trader. All right. Now think about it, okay? Now, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, and it wouldn't be special, all right? But for those of us that have put the years in and had the battle scars to go through it, it's special to us, okay? Day trading, again, it's not, where were we here? All right, market trading will be the most difficult skill you will ever learn in your life. All right? It's a fact. it will be the most difficult. It's going to be harder than being a doctor or a lawyer because there's a whole lot of nuances in the markets, and now we've got not just humans trading it, but we've got machines controlling the markets, which makes it even harder. All right? But if you put your time and your education in, these skills can transcend all markets and all time frames. All right? Once learned, you can trade any market at any time. Doesn't matter if it's the futures market, the forex market, the FX market, the currency markets, commodities markets, the Japanese market, the Asian market. It doesn't matter. You can trade any of them once you learn these skills. So that's how valuable they are. All right, the success rate for a day trader is only 5%. It's tough, isn't it? 5%. So out of 100 people, only 5% manage to go on and achieve success in day trading. Okay, if you're willing to put in the time and the education, you can master the markets. All right, but think about it. The very first time you ever put on skates or skis, you probably fell a few times, right? Well, trading's just another skill that's going to take you time to acquire. You're gonna have a few falls, and because of that, I have no issue with you paper trading until you learn it. If you find a new strategy and you want to try it out on paper 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, it doesn't matter to me. I got nothing against that at all, because the last thing I want you to do is lose your money. That's it. I care about your success. For me, I would much rather see you paper trade and lose nothing at all other than whatever subscription it was to sign up for, live data, all right? And not lose your retirement. You worked hard for your retirement. The last thing I want to see you do or hear of you doing is losing that retirement. Okay, so this is very important to me. I don't want you to risk anything until you've learned the concepts first. Okay? You just got to have a no quit attitude. You can do it, but it's going to take some time to master it. All right? You can do it, but you got to have a no quit attitude, and you got to have the time to be able to study the price action, because if you study price action long enough, you're going to notice that price bounces off of certain places time and time and time again. And those little nuances, they can't be taught. You actually have to see them. All right? So, and because this webinar is labeled Fix Your Morning Routine, we're going to go through what is my morning routine and how I achieve success with my morning routine. All right, first thing I do, I get up in the mornings, I look at the overnight session. All right, I want to see what happened overnight. So I look at the markets. I'm really not interested in many of the stocks unless they had earnings, and I usually don't play anything. I usually don't have hold of a position in anything with earnings, anything substantial anyways. But I want to look at where the markets are moving in the overnight session. Okay, then I start, all right, then I go to the laboratory, put on a pot of coffee, brown some toast, get ready, have a few sips, have a few vapes, and then have a few bites of toast. Okay, now I'm ready to start my day. Okay, so now I map out support and resistance for SPY, QQQ, and FNGU because for me, those are my main markets. I hardly ever trade Diamond Dow, which is DIA, or Russell 2000, but I like to know what's going on. But for the most part, I'm going to be trading SPY, QQQ, and FNGU, or some components from within those. So I want to know where support and resistance are. That's the first thing. Now I'm looking for my pivot points. All right. I want to find out at what point I want to be a bull, at what point I want to be a bear. I'm looking for upside targets and I'm looking for downside targets for all three. All right. And I'm looking for not just one target, but a couple targets. Because there's an occasion the market's going to move, a whole standard deviation, which is, a 10-day average true range. So I'm looking at it and I want to see where that standard deviation is going to line up, and if it's close to some moving average, or if it's close to some midpoint, or if it's close to some anchored VWAP that I consider to be pretty reliable. So I'm looking for pivot points, upside targets, and downside targets for all three. All right, now I start looking for patterns and trend lines. All right, so if I'm looking for a market maker's reversal pattern, or I'm looking for an ascending tail pattern or a descending wick pattern, I'm looking at trend lines to see what's close, what's not close, what's got a whole lot of room to move. Okay, so I start mapping that out as well. Okay, so I want to know where all those things are before I start my day. All right, before the bell rings at the New York Stock Exchange, I want to know where all of that is. All right, because I want to be ready. I want to be prepared. If I'm not prepared to make money, I'm probably not going to make money. All right, the market moves in a zigzag fashion for one reason. It doesn't want to get hit. All right, in other words, it does not want you leeching on to its profits. They move it around to shake you off. That's their position. Otherwise, they just move it up and leave it there. And then they'd move it up and leave it there. And there wouldn't be a trade other than for you to just do the old-fashioned E.F. Hutton and, you buy here and you sell in 10 years. That's it. Okay? But they don't. They move it around. And they like to trap you. That is their game, to set the trap and take your money. It's a truth. That's their game. That's why they zigzag it all around. And you have to look where the bigger trends are. You have to know that, hey, we're in an uptrend, but we're in a downtrend on the daily chart. Or really, we're in a weekly downtrend on the weekly chart. But the daily's just having a little pullback here, okay? That's why you want to know these nuances before the bell rings. Okay, so market direction is the very first thing I want to establish, because that's going to determine which stocks I'm going to trade. So if price is moving down and away from my anchored VWAPs, okay, then it's going to be bearish. If it's moving back toward my anchored VWAPs, as in up, okay, that means money's coming into the market. All right, money's coming out when it's moving away from my anchored VWAPs, and it's moving into the market when it's moving back toward my anchored VWAPs and up and over. All right, that's what I'm looking for. All right, now the more time in an anchored VWAP line translates into a more powerful anchored VWAP line. Okay? Okay, so the longer the line, the more powerful that anchored VWAP should be and most often will be. All right, if you notice, the SPY bounced off of, believe it or not, these last 3 days were produced by an anchored VWAP bounce from the October low of 2022. If you put an anchored VWAP on the October low of 2022, you'll see that price bounced off that anchored VWAP 3 days ago or 2 days ago. All right, so that's why I use anchored VWAP, because it's reliable. All right, now because I know myself, and I know I'm not very good at picking tops and picking bottoms, I start looking for stocks that are trending in the same direction as the market direction. In other words, if money's coming into the markets, I want to be looking at my bullish list. All right? If money's leaving the markets, I want to be looking at my bearish list. Because I know I'm really good at averaging in on a PBO. So the first thing I start looking for are, if we got a bullish direction, I'm looking for pullback opportunities to those T lines, to those trend indicators that are turning around and heading back in the other direction. That's what I'm looking for. On the bearish side, I'm starting to look for those pull-up opportunities that have pulled up and now turning back down and headed back down toward prior lows, or looking to make new lows. So we got PBOs, which is a pullback opportunity, and a PUO, which is a pull-up opportunity. Okay? Now, this is where it gets a little harsh here, okay? If you've been trading for more than 6 months and you're still showing up in the trading room and you're asking, hey, John, where's the support for the market? Hey, John, where's the targets for today? Okay? All right? In my opinion, okay, if you've been doing this for 6 months, you're not ready to trade. You're not prepared. It's the truth, okay? If you don't know how to find these, or where to find these, or where to learn how to find these, okay, you shouldn't even be paper trading, because you don't know what you're doing. All right? You really need to rethink your priorities. All right? Because you're not prepared for your day. And you should know this before the bell rings. All right? And you should know this. And you shouldn't have to ask anybody. You should be responsible for finding your own support, your own resistance, your own trend lines, your own patterns, okay? You need to be responsible. You know, if you're asking somebody else, think about it. You're hoping they know what they're doing. Okay? So this is where you need to learn, okay? And you really need to think about, okay, it's going to be painful to hear. You're just not ready. You need to go watch some videos that teach you those skills until you can do it on your own. You need to be responsible for your own results. Okay? Not some email subscription that sends you trades every evening or every morning, okay? You got to figure it out. All right? If you don't know where to go, email me. I will send you to this place, or get into my room. I'll teach you how to find it. Either way, I will teach you what you need to know to be successful in the markets. All right? So if you think some email subscription is, sends you trades every evening, that you got to own your own success. All right? You got to get up. You got to put your big boy pants on, your big girl pants on. You got to take some initiative. and you got to do some work, okay? You don't have to do all of it, but you got to do the work. You got to learn, all right? And in order to learn, you need to come to somebody's room that can teach you that, all right? That's what you're going to need to know in order to succeed, especially is market direction and market patterns. Okay, so now this is what I'm looking for. All right, I'm going to go to the next one, and I'll come back to this one. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. All right, you see this consolidation? This yellow line, that's my 3 EMA. This white line, that's my T line. That's the 8 EMA. The dots, that's my trend indicator. That's the 17 EMA. All right? And the brown line, that's my VWAP. All right? I'm looking for all 4 of those, okay? All 5. Price action, the 3, the 8, the 17, and the VWAP to all be consolidated into one spot right here. Okay? And then I'm going to watch it every morning. Okay? Every morning I'm going to watch this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay? It's in an uptrend. It's making higher lows. You see that? And it's making higher highs. And then it puts in another higher low right here. Okay? So I'm looking at this, and then bam, like Kobe Bryant, leaping from right off of the foul line, and it shoots up like this. That's the trade I'm looking for. Every single day. That's the trade. It goes from consolidated price action to divergence, diverging moving averages, just like that. That's the perfect trade for me. And if you look at this, I alerted traders in the room, at 966. I said, hey guys, hey, here at 9. Let me try that again. Lost that. Gonna get it back. And we'll come over here. Sorry about that. Didn't mean for that. Okay, I alerted people at 966 that, hey, there's a chance this is going to fly off the hinge right here. We're jumping out over the base. All right, and here we are now at 1066. That's a whole dollar move on a $10 stock. That represents probably 11, 12%. If you'd have played options, whoa, I don't even know what that'd be. I think that would be probably, depends on what option you played. You could have got anywhere from, 60% up to 300%, depending upon what option you played. But there you go. That's what I'm looking for. Here's another one of what I'm looking for. All right, see, here's my uptrend line. Right there, that yellow one. Now I got the 3 and the 8 and the trend indicator and the VWAP all trading through here. And then they're consolidating in this area. See how they're making a low, then it comes up, makes a high, and then it comes and makes a low. And then it tries to make a lower low, but it fails. And it's up over the midpoint. See how it comes down to the midpoint there. And then it turns around and goes back up to the prior high. And then it comes back and it consolidates right there. So okay, so now right over this candle, the body of that candle. And then you go, you got that Michael Jordan leap right off the foul line, right there. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. See that? That's exactly what I'm looking for every morning. Is something just like that. Here we are here. We're trying to jump up. We did here. I don't know if we're going to get the jump this week, but here's this starting to get ready to jump. I don't know if it's going to make it, but this is exactly what I'm looking for. Is that Michael Jordan Kobe Bryant leap right off the foul line, headed straight for the bucket, right there. That's what I'm looking for every single day. I'm looking for price that consolidated. Now, it doesn't have to consolidate on a daily time frame, but let me just say, okay, the larger the time frame, the more reliable the pattern, okay? I'm a day trader, all right? And that's something that every day trader has to come to terms with, is that the larger time frames, so those guys that swing trade, they're dealing with more reliable patterns and more reliable data than the day traders that trade less reliable data, because, we're trading 10-minute charts, 30-minute charts, hourly charts. Okay, they're not going to be as reliable as a daily chart or a weekly chart. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so that's one of the cons that comes with day trading. All right, and it makes it difficult because it's not as reliable as a daily pattern. Now, this one just happened to be a daily pattern. But let me just say, inside every daily pattern, there's going to be a whole lot of 10-minute trades happening inside that daily pattern. And that's why I like day trading, because I've got more opportunities, because inside every daily uptrend, there's probably going to be 30 or 40 10-minute uptrends within that time frame as it trends and goes up. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to look at comments and questions, and I'm going to answer some other questions and just see what I can do to help you with your trading. Give me just a minute. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, all right, because I was way ahead here. Yeah, GR, this is recorded. So I'm over here at 8:01. Recorder's on, yeah. One ATR is, yes, Phil, is 10 days, is a 10-day average, yep. That's the 10-day average that that the price moves. Put this down, pull up some charts. All right, so here's AMC, all right? Here's the low. I just want you to see this. Here's another beautiful tool that I just love using. Okay, it's called the quad lines. And all it does is it divides a move from the low to the high into 4 equal sections. Okay, this is one of my favorite tools. And I use it all the time on the 2-minute, 10-minute, weekly, monthly, daily, hourly. It doesn't matter. I'm always measuring a high to a low. All right, so you see here's the move up. Price comes back to the midpoint. The midpoint, that is the halfway line. All right, that's mid-court, midfield, whatever sport you play, okay, except for baseball. All right, this is midfield right here. Okay, this is the 50-yard line if you like football, midfield if you like soccer. Okay, so see how it comes back. Anytime you got 51% of anything, you have the majority. So you can see the bulls kept the price action over the 50-yard line, over the midpoint for the most part. That's what makes this attractive, okay, is that the bulls held price up here over the midpoint. And then when I see it consolidate, I'm looking for that Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan leap right off the foul line right there. That's what I'm looking for. That's what makes this attractive, is that it remained in the upper 50% where the bulls have control of the price action. Okay? I wanted you to see that, and that's why I use these quadrant lines over and over and over again, because they just help me in identifying positions and patterns and trends that I'm willing to play. Is stuff like this. This is what I love. This is one of my favorite tools. The other one is the anchored VWAP. Anytime I can measure the average price that every share sold for from a particular date in the past, that's an invaluable tool. I'm not a big volume watcher. I think I got volume down here. I don't think I ever lift it up. I really don't. I never watch volume at all. But let me tell you, when anchored VWAP's on my chart, yeah, I'm watching that one. That one's giving me a lot of information. That's telling me that the average price that institutions and retail traders have paid for that in the past. And that's a valuable piece of information. If you knew the average price, the Ford F-150 sold for, or the Ram 1500, and you knew what the average price was, and then you're getting it for, I don't know, $3,000 less than the average price, wouldn't you think you're getting a pretty good deal? You know what I'm saying? That's why that's so valuable to me. I love the anchored VWAP because you anchor it to a point in the past and it tells you what the average price each share sold for since that time. So for me, when you got anchored VWAP on your screen and you see price moving over and above it, to me that means money's coming into the markets, right? Because the only way to make this thing go up is for institutions to start hitting the ask. I mean, you and I, we can hit the ask, but we don't move it. I mean, not unless it's a low float stock. But for the most part, we don't move stocks like Amazon or U.S. Steel or, I don't know, Southern Copper. We can't move that. Institutions can move it, but we can't move that. All right? So in order to get this to move away from VWAP, institutions have to step in and say, I want some of that. I don't care how high it is here because I believe it's going higher. So they hit the ask and they cause it to pop. And then they cause it to pop some more. Because they want to capture, I don't know, 300-400 million shares or 300,000-400,000 shares, this week. And that comes from them hitting the ask and keep trying to accumulate more shares. And that comes from them hitting the ask. Yeah, VWAP is always intraday, Phil, and anchored VWAP can be anchored back in time. It's just like that song from Cher, Back in Time. If she could turn back time. Oh, by the way, all right, this weekend, we're going to turn back time. All right? This weekend, daylight savings time ends. All right? So we're going to turn the clocks back. So we're going to go back in time. All right? Thought you might like that. Malcolm, thanks for sharing anchored VWAP and VWAP. Yeah. Hey, see, Halloween. Yep. Thank you, Malcolm, for being here. Yeah. See what Malcolm's saying? He's asking himself when there's going to be opportunity. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for opportunity. He wants to see market direction. Will there be opportunity for him today? What are my EMAs? Walter, I use the 3, the 8, this trend indicator, that's a 17 EMA. So that's a 3 EMA, a 17 EMA, and an 8 EMA. And then I use a VWAP. Right that. Where's SPY going? SPY's bouncing right now, Devendra. I can show you why. Because it hit an anchored VWAP. All right. See this bright blue line? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to thicken it up so you can see it. And I'm going to show you where it starts. Okay, see this? Does that look familiar, Devendra? You recognize that point in time? Remember trading then on those days? Right there, that's October. All right, so here we give the crosshairs up. All right, what date was that? That's October 13th. All right, 2022. That's a year ago. All right, now I'm going to edit this. I'm going to crank it all the way up. All right, now watch this. Now, can you see where price? So you had anchored VWAP. You probably also had a rising 200 around there also. So you had multiple events which caused this bounce. Okay? So it hit the average price that had originated from back in 2022. Now, I say the markets move in synchronicity. So there's a good chance, I hate to say this, but there's a good chance whatever happens on top of this x-axis right here happens below this x-axis. All right, I don't want to scare the bejesus out of you, but it's a fact that the markets do move in synchronicity. So see how far away it got from the x-axis? It can also go on the other side below the x-axis. So it could come all the way back to 375 and test this consolidation through here. All right. I don't like doing that, but I don't like seeing people that aren't prepared either, because they didn't know that the markets move in synchronicity. All right. So Devendra, right now we're bouncing, but on the daily time frame, we're in a downtrend. All right, we're bouncing now. We're in a 15-minute. All right, you see this? This is a 15-minute chart, Devendra. Higher low, higher high. Higher low, higher high. We are in a 15-minute uptrend. But if we go back to this daily chart, right here, we've got lower highs and lower lows. You see that? So we're in a daily downtrend, but we're currently in a 15-minute uptrend. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, there's times that you'll see a battle at the midpoint, Rob. That is, or consolidation, yes. CS, not sure where your anchored VWAP is located. Did you? I think you saw it now. I just shared it with you. All the way back here. Now notice, price came back to the anchored VWAP and bounced. Price came back to the anchored VWAP, consolidated, couldn't make a lower low, and went higher. Failure to make a lower low results in the most recent high being tested. So it turned around and made a higher high. Okay, now it does the same thing again. Failed to make a lower low. So it comes back up, consolidates, and then break out right there. Market law number 4. I love that market law. Right there. How do you get VWAP on the daily chart? Hey, Bruce, you can't. Okay? VWAP is only an intraday. All right? It's only an intraday indicator. You can only get it on time frames less than the daily. You can get it on the 4-hour, the 3-bar, the 2-hour, the 65-minute. You cannot get it on the daily. So, my workaround, Bruce, because I like that, is I use the anchored VWAP, and that helps me get it on time frames of the daily and larger. Okay? Ed's the only one that can move price. How far back do I anchor VWAP? Hey Sue, thanks for being here, everyone. I like to anchor it at prior lows. Okay, so you can see I got one here at a prior low, got one here at a prior low. I 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 like prior lows and prior highs. Okay, that's where I like to anchor them. Now I'll have one on this low here as we grind up, because when price gets back underneath it, I want to go short. But right now we're bullish, so we're probably going to come up to this consolidation right here about 420.63. All right, that would be minor resistance right there. Okay, that's minor resistance. That would be the tails that stick down as price is underneath it. Okay, so all these four tails, that's going to be minor resistance. So as we come into that, I will be looking for price the very first time it reaches there to bounce away hard like a red rubber school ball hitting the concrete. Okay, but I'm going to wait for that, that 10-minute chart to cross back under the anchored VWAP, underneath the VWAP. All right, but I'll be looking right here, 420.63. Okay. No, see, you can put anchored VWAP on any time frame. You just can't have VWAP on daily high frame, time frame and higher. Okay. Rajda, hey, thanks for being here. Nice to see you again. A period of VWAP. It starts brand new every morning, Raj. All right, every morning. The very first share that's traded is the first average price. And then from that first share, they start creating a whole new average, starting from 1 to however many million they trade that day. So if we take the SPY for today, we traded 63.5 million. All right, so starting from share 1 all the way to 63.5 million. That's where it will. That's where the VWAP will wind up at the end of the day. C's asking about a trend line. What kind of a trend line do you want, C? I'm gonna have to pan down so I can see your answer. C, what kind of a trend line do you want? The color of VWAP, my color is brown. All right, I color my anchored VWAPs different colors so I don't confuse it with the regular ones. See, you tell me what trend line you want so I can help you with your question, because I'm not sure what you were asking. And Jim says, SPY looks like it's in a 3/8 trap now. It is, but it's green and it's not moving. We want it to be moving away from the T-line or away from the trend indicator. It is in the 3/8 trap, but we've got a bearish trend indicator, so we want price action to move away. Currently, we're in a 15-minute uptrend, so it's going in the wrong direction. When it starts a 10-minute downtrend or a 15-minute downtrend, and then it's going in the right direction, it's going away from a red trend indicator. In other words, it's moving down. At that point, we can explore that 3/8 trap then. Yeah, exactly like Ed said there, Mike A. On the quad line, it just divides that high and that low into 4 equal portions. That's it. It doesn't matter where I stop it. It's always going to be 4 equal portions. Each and every time. If I bring it back to this candle, all right, but why would I stop at that candle? Because I want to see from the high to the low, because that's really what matters. I want to measure the full move. I don't want to measure just part of the move, because then I might be I might get the wrong location. It's like somebody giving you a bad address. All right, you want to go to the right address. So you measure the full move from the very top to the very bottom. All right, so this webinar is all about, if you want to find success, and even if you want to do it in, I'm telling you, in the swing trading market, all right, it helps to be prepared. I mean, the Boy Scouts didn't keep their motto, since the inception, because it doesn't work. They kept their motto because it's always worked. And their motto was, be prepared. All right? So think about it. Being prepared is going to be the keystone to your success. You got to be willing to get up early. You got to be willing to do the work. All right? And if you're not, and if you don't know it, ask questions. I can see if you don't know it and you ask questions, you don't know how to find support or resistance, and you ask a question, that's one thing. But if you're going to come in and ask every day, hey, what's a target, or what's a support, what's a resistance, every single day, you need to go learn it. You need to learn how to figure it out. You need to be responsible for your own account, even if it's a paper account. Okay? But seriously, if you don't know how to do this yet, you shouldn't even be paper trading. All right? Knowing how to find support and resistance, how to find trend lines. A lot of this stuff, you got to know this if you want to be successful. You just can't randomly pick a number out of the spinning wheel and expect it to work. You got to be prepared, and you got to watch price action. Where does price action bounce? It typically bounces at a midpoint. It typically bounces at an anchored VWAP that's been there for a while. You see what I'm saying? This is why I'm saying you're gonna have to put your time in. All right? It's not easy, but let me just say this. Once you acquire these skills, they transcend all markets, all time frames. All right? Once you learn it, you cannot unlearn it. All right? It's something you will be able to teach your kids and probably even retire on. And it's well worth it if you're willing to put the time in. Just don't expect it to happen overnight. Now, I believe we have a trial available. Okay? You can pick up a trial. That's 30 days of hanging out in my room. All right? And if you don't get my trial, get one of the other guys' trials. I don't care if it's Rick's or Doug's. Either one. Get yourself some help so you can trade the markets. All right? I'm serious about this. All right? Because it helps to have somebody that you can ask questions. All right? That can guide you to the right places to learn how to trade the markets. All right? I want nothing more than your success. That's all I want, is for you to succeed and to love trading the way that I love trading. Thanks, Malcolm, for sharing. Yeah, the red dots are the 17 EMA. Yeah, that's the 17. All I did was color the 17 EMA instead of making it a flat line. It is a red dotted line. And then when it turns positive, that means, Phil, that price action got up over the 17 EMA, and that's what turns it green. Oh yeah, when I measure on the quad, I include the wick and the tail. That's part of the price action. Yeah, I just don't include the post market and the pre market. All right, whatever the trading day gives me here. All right, and that's why when you trade a moving average, don't expect price to like bounce right off the penny. All right, because there's other sorts of data that has been excluded in that price action, and when I say that, that's for instance pre-market or post-market price action that possibly happened up over this or possibly happened down under this, okay? That's being excluded. So when you see something get to an anchored VWAP or to a T-line or a trend indicator, don't expect it to just like turn around and run when it gets there, okay? It'll occasionally spike through it, okay? And why does it do that? Because there's other sorts of data that's not included. So give it some space, all right? That's what I'm saying. Give it a little bit of space. Don't expect it to reverse on a dime. You're new. You don't know how to find support and resistance. Are you a member of anyone's room, Cynthia? Are you a member of Rick's room or Doug's room or my room? I would encourage you to become a member of one of our rooms. For 30 days, it's only $24.50. And I mean, but if you're still working, your 9 to 5 job, and you don't have time to be a part of one of our rooms, I can suggest going to either Hit and Run Candlesticks or Right Way Options and go to the videos on YouTube and just search for support and resistance. I think both Rick and Doug have perfect videos on how to find support and resistance. And I want to mention, hey, before you guys leave, all right, I got an open house on the 9th of November. All right, so I'm going to have an open house on the 9th of November, and you all are invited. All right, that means you can step in for free. So Cynthia, if you're available on the 9th, you can jump in and ask all the questions your heart desires on the 9th. And I get in the morning at 8 o'clock and I start my monologue and I kick off the markets with a morning market conditions and analysis. And then when I'm done, I tell the traders in the room to post their questions so I can help them with it. All right? So there you go, Cynthia. You're invited on the 9th to a free open house. You can come hang out with me and probably be over 100 other traders in there to help you learn how to trade the markets. I hope you take us up on that. like support and resistance is a place where you can see where price action went up and stopped, and price action went down and stopped. So you see this, see this candle stopped right there, and you see how this candle came down and stopped right there. So between this one and that one, all right, I can put in a line right there. All right, and you can see it actually happened in the past over here. See that? It actually happened way over there. I was just looking at this and this, but look how the same thing happened way over here. Price tried to get up and it bounced away. Went up, bounced away. And then it finally came through. See that, Cynthia? It finally came through. You could probably put another one right there. See where it stopped twice. Right on top of that. All right, it finally went through and it came back and look. And then it reversed. It like a red rubber school ball coming down and hitting the concrete. It bounced right off of that area. See, it was resistance, and then when it's up and over it, it became support right there. So now that we're under this line, it will be resistance. And when we get over it, it will become support. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Malcolm. Thanks. I appreciate that, Malcolm. Thanks, Ed. At what time? I start at 8 o'clock, but I will be in that room on the 9th, November 9th, Cynthia, from 8 o'clock in the morning, probably until 4:30 in the evening on November 9th. And Ed, if you look up above, Cynthia, at 8:53, you can see Ed gave you a registration right there. You click that link, you fill it out, and you can come to my open house. Yes, I do use Ed scanning tools to find trades. It's an excellent way of finding stocks that are in trend. I love that. All the time. I have the rounded bottom breakout and the blue ice failure. So Texas is taking care of Arizona. Thanks, Ed, for sharing it again. All right, so this is going to be recorded. All right, I want to wish everybody a wonderful evening. I want to thank, Ed, Malcolm, and everybody else that shared. Hey, VJ, great to see you again. And everyone that showed up, okay? It's going to be on my BYOB YouTube account, all right? And you can email me if you want a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, all right? And so you'll find it there. And we'll also put it in, for the members e-learning, it will also be in there. So I want to wish everybody a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you at the open house. We're really doing well here in the BYOB room with the trades right now for the SPY. My favorite thing to trade is the SPY, and that's why I track it so tightly. Thanks, T. All right, everyone, have a wonderful evening. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.